Hello and welcome to this session. We are going to look at My Children, My Africa, Act 1, Scene 1. This is the great debate between Zolile and Kamdibu High Schools. The topic of the debate, as presented by Mr. M, is, and I quote, in view of the essential physical and psychological differences between men and women, there should be correspondingly different educational syllabuses for the two sexes. In simple words, the topic is men and women should have different syllabuses because they are physically and mentally different. Tamim Bikwana is representing Solile High School in the debate. They are on the proposition side. That means that they agree with the topic that men and women should have different syllabuses because they are different. We are now going to focus on Tamim Bikwana's argument. Tami's argument is that treating women the same as men is a Western or European tradition. It runs away from African tradition and culture. Tami goes on to remind the audience of the slave trade. This is when African people were taken from Africa and sold abroad as slaves by people from Western countries. He therefore argues that we cannot take or adopt the Western culture because they have oppressed black people for so long. He further on goes to illustrate this oppression by talking about colonialism, where Western countries came to Africa and ruled African people, discriminating them with policies like apartheid, as well as taking away African resources. Tami wants his audience to view Western civilization as a disguise to continue exploiting African people. Thami then goes on to talk about physical jobs that men can do, such as digging trenches and going to war. He's emphasizing this because he wants to illustrate that physically men can do different jobs that women cannot. He then further on goes to talk about the fact that men cannot stay at home with babies as they cannot produce milk. Isabel Dyson is from Kamdibu High and she's on the opposition side. That means that they disagree with the topic that men and women should receive different educational syllabuses because they are different. Isabel's argument is as follows. Her first argument is that Africa is no longer living in the past. Technology is making life easier and there is no need for physical strength. An intelligent mind is what is needed now. She puts this argument across to crush Tammy's point that women cannot dig trenches because they are not physically strong. Isabel goes on to say if the House accepts that women receive a different education just because they are different from men, then it opens that if people are different, then they should be treated differently as well. This argument makes Isabel win the debate because it speaks to what the black audience is experiencing through the Bantu education. They are receiving an inferior education simply because they are black. After Isabel's conclusion, Mr. M takes over and initiates the voting process. Mr. M asks the audience, Zolile High learners, to vote. He cautions them to vote fairly according to who had the strongest points and not based on which school they are from. Mr. M challenges the audience, who are Zolile High School learners, to prove that they can vote fairly and reasonably, as that is what black people were fighting for, the right to vote and be represented in parliament in the 1950s. The majority of learners vote for the opposition team, which is Kamdibu High. This is very ironic because the audience are Zolile High School learners. Them voting for Thami means that Zolile would have won the debate. But instead, they choose to lose and vote for Isabel's team, who is representing Kamdibu. Why does Isabel win the debate? The learners of Solile High could relate to Isabel's argument. They are oppressed with Bantu education. And Isabel concluding by saying that if people are treated differently because of gender, then we should accept people being treated differently for any other reason. This hit home. Excellent for listening until the end. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Mr. Anela Mialacha, at mychildren.myafrica. Follow me on Facebook, Grade 12 English Foul Literature, as well as TikTok, Miss Literature at My Children, My Africa.